Hello everyone, and welcome to CDR's round 8 of the Tier 3 season. Today, it is myself, your favourite Northerner, and just me. I can't believe I'm having to say this. This is the worst track to drive in Formula 1. Horrible, horrible track. Also, good evening, buddy. I need to restart the stream on my phone because chat is not appearing. There we go. So we are well over halfway into the season now. Starting to see the standings. Sources don't agree, lad. This track is better than Mexico, says Clay. You are delusional if you think this track is better than Mexico. It is dreadful. There is no grip. The corners are just ridiculous. Horrible, horrible, horrible track. So let's get everything up and running. Who's going to be first out of the box? Looks like everyone... Is everyone going for softs to start off with? Or we're going to see some medium runners. Tyre wear can be high around here, especially those left-hand side tyres. You've got some long, long swooping right-handers. And it does look like it is going to be a Williams, possibly. So we've got Nerfak, first one out. This corner is horrible. You downshift at the wrong point, it starts sending you around. Although saying that, I didn't drive it in F1, only drove it in F2. Of course, your main overtaking points. Turn 1. Got to be very cautious though. And then down the long back straight into that penultimate corner, into the hairpin. We've seen a few crashes there. Most notably, Lance Stroll, also known as Clay. Not joking though. We've seen Murphy getting those tyres well warmed up, and he's going to be the first one to take us for a lap around China today. How's everyone's weekend been anyway? Have anyone done anything good? Obviously all missing the F1 football season is back though. Why is Nerf training always battery down here? Well, that didn't seem like a good idea. Did Nerf think that he was on the flying lap then? This long swooping right-hander of turn 1, drift it out wide and then cut back in. Turn 2, get the car as straight as possible, as early as possible, so you can get the power down. Traction control absolutely kicking Nerf's arse there. Hard braking into the slow right-hander. Love this. I hate this track, but I love this next set of corners. Flat out through the long left-hander. Drop a gear or two through the slower right-hander, but then you can easily get caught out on the curbs through this double apex if you come to the end of sector 2. Always find it hard to get the power down through this long right-hander. Nerf seems to have done it. He's got himself a full battery, but he's not using it. Is he going for a double warm-up? This looks like Nerf is going for a double warm-up. So let's jump on with Anderson. Deep into turn 1 again, run it out wide, then pull it back in towards the apex. I always find a tighter line around turn 2 works a little bit better, but that's just me. Nerfpak naturally sets the fastest lap to start off with, but then Clay takes 3 seconds out of it. with a 1:33.7. Unfortunately, I didn't see Tier 1 or 2 to know what is the relative lap time. We've got Kane with a 34.2 on the board. And then Dave puts himself third so far with a 35.4. Anderson really pushing the car here. Gets a little bit straight in between those two corners. Which it shouldn't be. It should be one swooping motion very deep into there. And then hard on the power. He's got plenty of battery. He's going to drain this all the way down this back straight. Already in 8th gear by the time you get to DRS. You open that and well above 200 mile an hour, approaching 215 mile an hour hard on the brakes, all the way down to 40. Cannot imagine how that would feel driving an actual F1 car. This corner, last corner is very easy to get a track limit warning, and Anderson is going to go into third. But that's on a set of medium tyres now. Let's have a look at Osso as he's coming up to finish his first flying lap. DRS open. DRS burning only pulls him up to fourth with a 34.3. Who else do we have out on track at the minute? Riker is approaching the last corner. Come across the line and go into second with a 33.8. Still got a couple of cars doing flying laps, as we see Curley, Marshall and Housie. Oh, no, just Marshall. Marshall's set a purple sector 2. So it's looking like a good lap. How early does he get on the battery? If you got on it too early, you don't get as much power towards the end, and you need some as you're coming out of that final corner. See, he's not as fast as Anderson was coming into the last corner, and oh dear, very, very deep. That's going to cost him big time. That's a good 3-4 tenths. But he's got the battery onto the pit straight, and it is going to put him in 6th place with a 34.4. Lovely track, says Clay. It isn't, Clay. It's a horrible track. Horrible, horrible. I would rather... They need to drop this out of the actual calendar. It's a horrible track. Bring back... forgotten which track I were on about. Portugal. Much better. Again from now, sets a purple sector 2. Hooks that left-hander very well, opens it up for himself in this long right-hander, does a short shift so he can get the power down. Portugal's my favourite track for motorsport. Very, very good track. I love the elevation change of it. They should drop Monaco and Silverstone. Silverstone? Teabag, that is an outrageous thing to say. Silverstone is arguably one of the best races of the year. Look at some of the races we've had in recent times. Probably been some of the most entertaining. Gainful moves up to 9th. Lucas has put himself into 3rd. We missed that. 34.0. Yeah, Monaco, yeah, 100%. It needs to be dropped. Anderson going for a second lap. Actually, felt like he could have done a little better on these mediums. Monaco is a horrible, horrible track. There is nothing they can do to improve it. I've seen people saying, like, take out the chicane as you come out of the tunnel, but that it still doesn't make an overtaking opportunity. Cannot go too wide anywhere on that track. We all know why Monaco is on the calendar, and it is purely money. Let's jump on board with Gold and his flying lap. I don't think there's many tracks that need dropping, to be fair. Monaco does need to be dropped. It's scandalous that Imola was dropped, because that's a fantastic track. Could argue Miami. Not a big fan of Miami. Have two in the UK, bring Brands Hatch back. A short lap like that would be fantastic. I was going to suggest Cadwell Park, but funnily enough, I don't think that would hold the F1 spectators, as Gold puts himself 4th. Who else have we got out there? Wab is out here on his flying lap. Into the hairpin he goes. Got to be a little bit tighter than that, unless you get a very good run, and he did seem to get on the power well there. Very well out of the final corner, a little bit loose, only puts him up to 15th. Got Sprint, who I'll be honest, don't know much about, believe is a new racer in the league. So let's have a full onboard run around China. Long swooping left-hander, flat out, don't need to lift at all. Unreal that these cars can just take corners like that flat out. I love how delicate he is on the throttle. Absolutely no need for traction control. He's nailing the throttle pickup. See if he can get the power down well, and he does. He's hard on the throttle now, burning the battery. He's had full battery there. Expect to see him first in the speed trap, depending on the setup that he's got running. He's actually going to be a little bit slower. We saw Anderson get up to 213 round there, but he takes the hairpin well. And the last corner, the most difficult corner on the track, I believe. Only puts himself 11. It felt like a very comfortable lap, but clearly just missing that little bit of pace. Clay feels confident already, he's already dipped out of the session. Until I report him for cheating. Seeing full send come in now, 6 minutes left of this session. Luckman, Howsett and Pintseye still to get a lap on the board. You can see Luckman out on the track now. A horrible fluorescent green kick Sauber. But sets himself a purple first sector. Red Bull does well to get out of the way, only just though. That is a perfect line through there. A little bit on the curb on the right hand side, and then takes a bit too much curb on the left as well. But how's this second sector going to look? Will it be a purple sector? It is. 2 purple sectors for Luckman here. This is a very fast lap. Again, short shifting through the long right hander. Don't want to be burning up too much tyre. And you want to be able to get that power down so you can burn the battery hard. Maybe not enough battery save for the rest of this lap. Down into the hairpin. Takes that very well, gets the car straight so he can get the power down. Pick your braking spot, throw the car into the final corner. DRS open, battery burning, and he goes third with a 33.8. It's a very good lap. Lucas clearly didn't feel too safe. I would have thought a 34.0 would have been enough looking at the times out there. Purple second sector. He comes into the loop. And burning the battery again. DRS wide open. What sort of speed we're looking? 208. So you start to see the difference between people's setups. You look at Anderson, who probably is running less rear wing compared to the likes of others. And where is Lucas going to go there? He's going to stay in fourth, with just about half a tenth down on his first lap, and we've still yet to see Pint Size post the lap. Wab going again, obviously not anywhere near safe. He needs to pick himself up a good, you'd say a good second to be safe. Chip on his flying lap, coming down the back straight. Probably hasn't saved enough battery again, needs to get a lot picked up into this hairpin, and he does. Need a big weekend from the Ferrari boys tonight, says Kieran. And Chip puts himself what is most likely safe with a 34.3. And I would probably say the bottom 5 that have set times have had incidents somewhere, because it's a big gap from sort of 8th down to 15. I'm expecting to see some changes here. We've got Fulsen, who is already half a second up on his time. That at the minute would be just enough maybe to get him out of Q1. Picks up a little bit more time and sets a purple second sector. He needs to get on the power here, and he does a little bit of a short shift and then let the car run out wide. Don't want to take too much of that outside curve though. That cutoff is going to be around Spirit's current time. Yeah, I would say about a 34.8, 34.7, 34.8. Fulsen takes the hairpin very well there, gets the car rotated well. On the ERS, is looking to get himself out of Q1. Battery burning, DRS open, and he does. He moves up to 5th with a 34.1. Hindsight also trying his best to get out here. He's only 0.12 up on his previous time. It's not going to be enough unless he absolutely masters the hairpin in the last corner. Hindsight is looking like he could be out of this qualifying. Hard on the brakes. Rotates him a little bit wide. Not enough battery, you would think. Let's see how he does. Flicks it into the left hand of the final corner and loses a lot of time. That is not going to be enough. He does improve, only slightly. Kieran Fulsen Dave has turned into mostly Sen Dave. What a fantastic name. And Wab now looking to drastically improve, and oh, locks it up coming into the hairpin. Nearly loses it. He's got a good chunk of battery though. Can he use that to his advantage? Flicks it in. Oh, and he's how has he got away with that? He's going to be out anyway, but that is outrageous that he got away with the track limits there. Now, Housie, can he get out? He's only 0.02 of a second in the bottom 5. Pint Size is also finally out on track. He's going to be pushing it for time. Where is? Looks like he's just rounding the final corner now on the track map. Housie did well to keep the revs up through the final corner there. Maybe short shifting a little bit too much at that point. And Housie is going to cross the line of 34.0. That will see him safe comfortably as Anderson sets the fastest lap. And Pint Size, did he get? He didn't. He's taken the line. He didn't get a time on the board. Hindsight out. Wab is out. But now Sprint is looking to try and get himself out of this qualifying. It's last chance saloon for him. That's a very good final corner. Hard on the ERS. DRS open. And unfortunately is not going to be enough. Oh, sorry, it will be his 15th. But only just. And everyone else looking safe. And then Marshall doing the one thing I hate the most. Why are you diving into the pits when it's the checkered flag? You're just dragging out the session. Gainful going for another lap and improves by 3/10. Puts himself up to 6th position. So quite a big gap across the board. Anderson with a 33.7, and then you've got Wab with a 35.4. With the first to be eliminated out of the bottom drivers. And we can all blame Marshall for this taking so long. So there we go, there's your end of Q1. We have Anderson, Clay, Riker and Luckman as the top 4 and the drivers leaving. Wab, Hindsight, Nerf and Pint Size, who didn't get a time on the board. Whether he's had a bit of an issue somewhere and invalidated. Or so through. Clay seems to be doing a lot of talking, guys, about how much he loves this track, so let's help him finish down in 16th, please. So as we move into Q2... Ooh, something went wrong. Try again. There we go. As we move into Q2 now... And who's going to be the first out this time? We normally see, I think it's one of the McLarens out on track first, or Kane is also very quick out of the pits. Claire's always ran well here, but can be unlucky in sector 2, primarily around me. We'll see a flood of cars straight out onto the track, no one messing around. They want to get times on the board. I believe Curley is heading this little train. Naturally, they will spread out across the lap. Has anyone noticed that dirty air does not feel as drastic now? I don't think it feels anywhere near as bad. There we go, we just see him starting to spread out now. Although the Kick Sauber is wanting to get ahead of that Aston, and he has. That's Luckman not messing about. Track Evolution will see the times improve by about half a second a session. Track Evo is big on this track. I get that. It's just a horrible track. Despise this track. Like, if I don't win the F2 Championship, I'm blaming China. Not even the track, the whole country. I'm blaming it. So let's go on board with Curly now on the first lap of Q2. Flying into turn 1. It is a cool corner, is turn 1 at China. It's just awful to get right. Because then turn 2 comes at you so quick and it's so easy to lose a lot of time through there. We dive into the first really hard braking point of the track. It is just very much a track where there is a lot of time to gain and a lot of time to lose. That double apex is awful for traction control. T1 is T3, as there's technically 3 turning points. Yeah, but... I hate corners like that, though, where it says that it's turn 1 and 2, where they're not corners. It's just one big corner. Curly coming up to finish her first flying lap now. That is a good time by Curly with 34.2. Who's next to cross the line? I believe it will be... Ooh, Kane with a 34.0. Kane has invalidated. It's like the long left at Sochi was turns 4 to 7. Yeah, but I felt like the Sochi one had... like kinks, sort of like, what track am I trying to think of? Was it Barcelona that had like odd Qatar? Like it's kinky as you take, that is a terrible way of describing it. It has kinks going right. They're maybe a bit more exaggerated. As Clay again has set the fastest time of the session so far, 33.9. On board with Lutman, who's invalidated. Gold just coming out of the pits. Marshall about to start a flying lap, I believe. With Full Send Dave just up ahead. I think that's Dave just up ahead. Yeah, it is. Now the two McLarens seem to be running very close. Are they giving a tow? No, they've backed off. Gets well out of the way, that's great to see. Yeah, Lutman's now dived into the pits, so we are... can't see how long is left because it is yellow flagged on the screen. 9.5 minutes of this qualifying session left as Marshall coming around the double apex left-hander. Looking like a relatively good time. It's going to be in the 30... Oh, actually we're saying only 7-second improvement, so that would put him in the 39s. That would put him in the 49s. What am I talking about? Hard on the brakes, really got to pick out your braking point. That's going to be a track limits. Now we're seeing to see people pick up track limits. Riker comes across the line. 34.0. Oh wait, he's just starting his flying lap. Riker's like me, takes the tighter line through turn 1s to 3, whatever amount of turns there is through that complex. The only one out on track. Push lap at the minute. Bit wide there. Not bad for a U set, says Clay. That is a pretty good time for a U set of tyres. Track Evo definitely helps. I am so glad I am not racing this track in F1 cars. Ooh, they just kept it on the road there, Riker. Is improving slightly. Not enough to be taking P1, but we'll see what I can do down the back straight. He's got a lot of battery. Seems to be short shifting. Only 207, so we've got Riker running a bit more rear wing, which helps him through the faster corners like turn 1, and then this last corner, the rear wing is majorly important. And Riker jumps up to second, 7/100ths of a second away from clear there. Who else have got out on a flying lap at the minute? We've got Gainful. Burning battery up to the long left-hander, which I feel is a very good idea. Carry the speed round. Runs it a little bit wide there, but manages to bring it back onto the racing line pretty well. But then loses a lot of time through the double apex. Marshall is still to set a relative lap time. He's only set what looks to be some sort of error lap so far. But Luckerman and Dave still yet to set a lap. Luckerman, of course, invalidated, and so did Dave, I believe. He's gone for a fresh set of tyres as well. It's Gainful. Just manages to get the car rotated there and gets hard on the power. I prefer that line, taking it tight and then being able to get on the power. And that's going to be a good lap, and that puts him above Clay with a 33.7, so we definitely are seeing improvement. So far, I would say the cut-off is round about where Curly is. I reckon it'll be a 34.2-ish. I think we're going to see a lot of improvement coming in this second part of Q2. This goal, I believe, is on an in-lap. Got Sprint on his flying lap. Now, Sprint doesn't use any ERS until he gets to the back straight, and you see how much it helps. Look at the speed difference. And then he's got enough for these last couple of bursts before the line. Doesn't use any there. And hard on the ERS now. And that's going to be in the 35s. It's a 35.4, and that is not going to be enough as it stands. Chip now on the fly. He'll want to move up quite a lot to be safe. Maybe just takes a little bit too much of that left-hand curb. But he's 8/10 up. This is going to be very, very good for Chip. So we'll put him above gold if he can keep on this pace. This braking zone is insane. 205. And he'll be down to around about 40 miles an hour. All at the 100-metre board as well. Tends to be the braking point. DRS open Chip. Wowee. A 33.9 flat. Gone from looking like he could be dropping out to definitely being safe. There's Marshall now coming up to the last corner. Flicks it left, gets on the ERS. DRS open. Puts himself what you would think would be safe with the 34 flat. And then we have got Full Send Dave, who's yet to set a lap. 3.5 minutes left of the session. Dave getting well out of the way there. I believe it was for Chip, but Chip had just set his lap. So realistically, this is looking like Dave's only lap. Needs to get this right. Backs off down the straight. He wants to put as much space between himself and Chip. Doesn't want to be feeling the dirty air into the last corner. So here we go, Dave lining himself up for what will be his last attempt. Pushing the car hard, coming onto the pit straight. Got a good run, brings it over to the left. and just lets the car coast round. Picks up the throttle, bit of a burst into the long left-hander. Can't get the power down quick enough. Could potentially cost him. How's he looking at the end of sector 1? A 24.6. Luckman also out on a lap now. 2 kicks, leaving it to the last minutes, last few seconds to get their laps in. And Davis is looking a little bit scruffy by Dave, but is it going to be enough? A 34.2 is what he needs to get out of this session, and at the minute it is very, very close. But the traction control absolutely beating him. He's really struggling to get the power down. He's got enough battery. Starts burning it early. DRS open. What's his rear wing like? Has he got enough on? 205. Hard on the brakes. 40 mile an hour. Gets on the ERS to try to pick up the power. Round the final corner, burst to the line. Is this going to be enough? It isn't. It's a 34.6. That is looking like it will be Dave out of this session. Luckman round the final corner. This looks like it will definitely be enough. A 33.6 puts himself in P1, but Clay now 4 tenths up on his best lap as he approaches the final corner. He was definitely already safe, but he wants to make a point and puts in a 33.1. Very, very good lap. Who else have we got running at the minute? Gold is in the pits. Curley going for a last ditch attempt to get out of Q2. Doesn't need to make up too much time compared to the fastest lap they've had so far. A 10th would do it. Depending obviously how Osso finishes his lap. 1/2 a tenth up so far. As it stands, that would be enough. Just. It would be very, very close, but it would be enough. Hard on the battery, DRS open, looking for that top speed. Comes off the battery early, wants some left for these last couple of bursts before the line. Gets on the ERS into the final corner, gets it well, gets on the battery, DRS open, and a 34.1, but it looks like Osso had beaten Curley there. And when you look at the difference there is not much at all. Lucas now, last ditch attempts. This is definitely going to be safe by Lucas of a 33. Sprint, I believe, is the last car to cross the line. And Sprint is out. And that is a 35.1. Not enough to get out of Q2. And you look at the difference there between getting through to the top 10 and not. It was 4 thousandths of a second separating Kane and Marshall. Eight and a half tenths separating the top 10 in Q2. And Full Send does my worst nightmare. Puts it in the pits to cross the line. Just cross the line, guys. It just gets the session done with quicker. Lucas, I swear to God, if you died in the pits. Oh, you've already taken the check flag, that's fine. So Clay again setting the pace in that qualifying. As we see here, also adds wear to the tyres with AI driving around, mate. That's all. Yeah, but the qualifying tyres, they get returned anyway. You're not going to be able to use them. You could, well, potentially one set, but you're not going to realistically need them. I get it with one set. I do, Clay. I have to sit here and wait. But Clay again setting the pace in Q2 there, as we can see. Oops. And we missed the drivers out. Apologies, we missed the drivers out there. Too busy arguing with Clay. Swearing in the chat, I'm going to ban him. Forgetting, Clay, I'm logged into the CDR YouTube channel. Put you on mute. So here we go. Q3, top 10 shootout. Looks like the first car out will be a Red Bull. So that will be Chip. Oh, but a Kick just gets out in front. That's going to be Luckman wants to get the first lap in. I really despise this track. Looking forward to next week though. Big fan of Zandvoort. I'd actually like to see that little slip road on the inside to be used as part of the track. Looks like it would flow much better. I quite often look at different parts of tracks and what they use. Like here, slam on the brakes, take a right onto the back straight. So everyone out on track at the minute apart from Housie. Lockman with a big gap behind him. I would, Kaylee, but do I have you on my friends list? Send me an invite, and yeah, by all means. And I will actually be around for the podiums tonight. PSN. This sounds really bad. I don't actually know my own PSN username. It's either call-_were or were45_L. Which I didn't want either of those names. I got hacked. I thought they'd do it for some useful purpose, but they hacked my account and sat and played Roblox for a day. Evening, how was it? There we go. Luckman is the first one on track to set a lap. And so far it's looking very, very smooth. Smooth laps tend to be the quickest laps. Also Q3 must be something wrong. Also as a fast driver, you just need to cut out the penalties. Hard on the brakes. That is a fantastic line into the hairpin. Gets the car straightened up to get on the power. Yeah, I think next week I'm going to do that. I'm going to try get like a couple of drivers from the qualifying sessions that have been knocked out and just get some feedback. As Luckman with a 33.4. Wrong Tim says Osso is a fast driver. Osso's my vote for driver of the year in T3. Frame that and put it on Osso's wall. I think the only time we'll frame anything and put it on Osso's wall will be the day he finishes a race without a penalty. As Clay puts in a 33 flat, we're already seeing this track Evo. Dummies time, so Gainful coming into the last corner. Getting to a 33.8. We're seeing pretty much everyone into the 33s now. Anderson the next to cross the line. Again into the 33s. Everyone within a second of each other. So far, Clay holds that provisional pole. Hauser is doing his typical, I'm going to leave it to the last second and do one lap. My anxiety could not cope with that. I believe that is everyone's flying laps done. Yep. So everyone will now dive into the pits, then crawl around the track. Yeah, nobody's going again on the same set of tyres. Oh, Kelly, don't you know? Clay's got Jana Watmere driving for him. We all know Clay's not a 33 flat type driver. Only joking, Clay. And I only said Jana Watmere because that is literally the only F1 esports driver I know. Everyone now in the pits. Who's going to be the first of them to come out for the second runs? Whatever that Haas sounded like a fighter jet in my headphones coming past then. So seeing the Red Bull of Chip out straight away. Clay's eaten also. Well, it'd be your own fault when you get 15 seconds worth of penalties then, Clay. Nick's little nerf. I'm actually trying to get my brother-in-law into this league. He's a very, very good driver. No assists at all. No braking line, no traction control, no ABS. So borrowed. There's a big difference between nicking and kidnapping. Isn't that right, Clay? Or nicking and trafficking. Nicking, you're doing it, you're just taking it without paying. Clay pays decent money. So Chip's going to be the first one to set a lap on the second run-ins. Probably timed it well, because if he does invalidate at any point, CDR trafficking confirmed. Was that not confirmed a long time ago? Why do you think I'm doing comms? Currently sat in Nerf's basement doing this, chained to a radiator. Chip gets the car rotated well there, keeps it tight around the left-hander, let it run wide so you can pick up the throttle. Naturally rooting for Chip as a fellow Red Bull driver who has done absolutely nothing this season. Also keeps us in his basement. A little bit of a downshift there by Chip. Won't have cost him too much. So the only interaction we get all week. That's a great double apex there by Chip. You just keep it turning left. Not improving by too much, but he is improving. So far it will seem go up to 6, and who we've got following behind? We have Anderson behind, who is on an out lap. Gainful is on a flying lap now. So we jump to Gainful after this. Oh, and Chip has run out of battery. Picked up the throttle very well there, the shorter shifting working well for him. Oh, and he's dived in the pits. That's going to be it for Chip. He was improving. Oh, and Gainful has gone round. Luckily, enough time. Needs to get harvesting, so he's going to need that battery. I don't see Chip getting in and out. No, he's left it. Chip is not going to be any higher than he currently is. But he has cooked those tyres, no? Possibly. We'll see. How's he finally decided to join us on track, by the way? Gainful's now got the battery full. He's going to try go again. Obviously it will be a little bit slower than he would like with that wear on the tyres. Comes hurtling down into T1. How's he now also on a flyer? In fact, we've got Luckman and Anderson following each other. Anderson's going to get a marvellous tow down the back straight. Luckman might end up helping Anderson here. Anderson definitely is close enough to feel the effects of the slipstream. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe just needed to be that little bit closer, but Luckman is hard on the ERS. Upwards of 200 mile an hour. He's decided not to burn any more. Anderson this though comes almost right up to the back of Luckman. So far Clay with that provisional pole. Clay also out on a lap. And Luckman is going to come across the line with a 33.2, and then Anderson takes that second place away from him with a 33 flat. Now here's Gainful setting that lap that he had to abort before, and it's a 33.4, puts himself into 4th position. How's he now? Coming to finish his lap. It's going to be a 33.5 up to 5th. Clay doesn't improve by the looks of it. Oh, it was also Lucas next across the line. Not enough battery. If he had some battery, but he does take pole a 32.8. That is a mighty, mighty lap. Riker now the last across the line. Stays in 6th. Also has invalidated his lap. Apparently it was looking like a 33.3. It would have put him 7th. But what an end to Q3. Clay looks like he had it in the bag, and then Lucas has come in and dropped it into the 32s, and Clay has done that on purpose and dived into the pits just to annoy me. Clay says he was cheated out of pole. Why is that? Lucas saying come on after that mighty lap to put him ahead of Clay. Came through me 90 degrees to the left on exit curve. Skill issue clip. So there is our top 10. Lucas takes pole. Clay alongside him on the front row with Anderson and Luckman just behind. Marshall and Riker in 5th and 6th. And then towards the back of the top 10 we have Gainful, Housey, Chip and Osso. It's lining up to be a very, very good race. Difference of 1.1 seconds across the top 10. Would have been less had also not invalidated. So as now the drivers will pick their race spec setups. Some may opt for a bit more wing. Higher tyre pressures will be needed. Always looks so nice and calm in the pit lane. Just everyone's got a wing in the exact same position. All the different gantries for the pit crews. And literally, I'd never noticed that, but every pit gun is exactly the same. Exactly the same position, facing the exact same way. So we just wait for the drivers now to pick. Does anyone have the weather for what it's going to be like? Are we expecting any rain? Is it a dry race? I think there was some rain in T2, I want to say. There was no rain in F2. Kind of wish they had. I might have done it a little bit better. Anyone at all give me the weather update, please. Still waiting on the drivers to pick their setups here. And here we go. About to start the formation lap. Cars all peeling away from the grid. Don't want to weave too much around this track because you do need... It does take a lot out of the tyres, so let's have a look and see how people are setting up. Very, very big mixture. Lucas and Clay going for the mediums. Naturally, they'll want to disappear into the distance. Anderson starting on the hards with Marshall, Chip, Kane, Gold, Dave, Sprint, Hindsight, Nerf and Pint Size. So out of the 19 cars, we have 10 starting on hard, so a 50-50 split pretty much across the grid. And the car's now weaving hard. It was hard to get temperature in the tyres in F2 on the formation lap. And what a view that is looking down the straight. Everyone weaving, trying to get temperature in for the start of this race. Now Lucas will round the final corner. Still trying to get some temperature and lighten up the rear tyres. And he's going to angle himself pointing right. He's going to try cover off that inside line for Clay. Clay just aiming dead straight. Chip and Kane didn't get into their grid spots properly. So Osso will be looking at that. He'll want to get the jump on Chip. So here we go. The 5 red lights come on, and we are racing. Who's got the better start here? It looks like it's going to be Lucas. Clay pulling alongside early, though, as we dive into turn 1. Clay takes the early lead, but Lucas trying to fight back around the outside. Thinks better of it, knows what can happen around turn 1 if people are not cautious. As we're seeing a lot of position changes already. Gainful up to 6, Riker's dropped to 7th. Osso's made his way up, he's up to 7th now, is Osso. As we see the possible strategies of one stop is possible. Is that going to be the preferred choice? And who have we got at the back spun round there? It's Gainful after a good start and making up a couple of places. He's dropped to the back after some sort of incident. And Lucas sticking to the back of Clay. Those medium tyres already looking like the better choice at the start. Look at the gap being pulled out already over Anderson. He needs to stay close. He needs to keep in that DRS. Otherwise that strategy is not going to work out as well. He needs to stick with these medium runners, but it's going to be a challenge. Already the gap is at 1.1 seconds. As we ride on board with Lucas here, he's picked up the slipstream on Clay. Is he going to be close enough to make a move? He tries to, he's just got his nose up the inside. Manages to get it rotated, but Clay on the outside line gets the better exit and keeps hold of first position. End of lap 1, and we are going to see the DRS enabled now. Anderson will be fighting to get back in that DRS 1 second gap. It's going to be difficult through the windy section 1 and section 2. Clay looks a little bit loose there, and oh, Lucas absolutely lights up his rear tyres, does well to save it. And now Luckman all over the back of Lucas, was looking to make a move, thinks better of it. Has forced Lucas to just run a little bit wider than he probably likes there, didn't quite get the apex. And this is just meaning that Clay can pull that little bit further away. Luckman sticking well with Lucas. He's set up nicely for this DRS run down the back straight. And Anderson well out of DRS now, nearly 2 seconds back. 1.7, he's going to get eaten up by Riker, you would think, down this back straight. As we see the top 3 now. And who's gaining on who? Lucas is gaining rapidly on Clay. Now he's got the DRS. Lucas is going to easily get past. Is Luckman looking to make it 3 wide? It's going to be a double loss for Clay down the back straight, it looks like. No, he just keeps hold of that second position. But Luckman knows he can just bide his time here. Riker does get past Anderson. And that is going to mean that these top 3 disappear even further. 1.9 now the gap between the top 3, and Lucas drops down into second as Clay makes the swoop into turn 1. Is a very good move. Lucas looked like he was trying to fight it back, and Luckman up the gearbox of Lucas, sorry. Whoa, Luckman again, just putting his car in Lucas's mirrors, and he's got the better exit, it looks like. Out of the first hairpin, we need to see this. It looks like he's going to try go around the outside, thinks better of it. He knows the DRS is going to benefit him more than being ahead of Lucas. So after the first couple of laps, the main talking point is Gainful has dropped right down, pretty much out of this race, down into 19th, 9-10 seconds behind. This looked like Luckman's got a better run out of that long right-hander, as Pint-Size has now picked up a 3-second penalty for corner cutting and has dropped behind Sprint too. Now Lucas, has he got the speed? He didn't quite have enough to get past Clay. Clay's done well to defend there. He's utilising his battery very, very well. Lucas does have more to potentially get him down this pit straight. Another dose of DRS. Decides not to use the battery, and Clay is defending for everything he has. Moving right over to the pit wall. As you see, Anderson now also on the back of Riker. We're going to join this sort of second pack of cars. Oh, and he just takes a little bit too much of that left-hand curb. And Riker just pulls that a little bit further ahead. 6.5 tenths now. And Riker will be seeing the guys ahead battling, and he's trying to catch up, and he is doing so far. That gap's come down from 1.9 to 1.5, but these medium tyres will start burning out. I believe it was around about lap sort of 12-13 for the end of the mediums. Anderson just looks like he's getting a little bit reckless, trying to keep up with these medium runners. And at this rate, it's looking like it could be dropping out of DRS very, very soon. Riker now into 1.3 of the top three. 1.2, he is gaining a lot. He's desperately trying to get back in that DRS. And then we'll join the top three down this back straight again. Lucas this time is not burning the battery as of yet. Now he's got the DRS open. He is. Is he going to be close enough to make a move? No, just not enough. Maybe just needed to start the battery burn a little bit earlier. But this mini battle is definitely helping Riker, who's pulling this gap back, as we see Curly has made a move on Chip to move up into 9th position. Let's have a look at the biggest gainers and losers so far. Clay up one position, of course. And it looks like Nerf is the biggest gainer so far, with a 7-position jump taking him up to 11th. Full Send has moved up 4 places, and then the biggest loser so far is Gainfield's down 12 places to the back of the grid. He has caught up a little bit to Pint Size and has now dived in the pits. Chip has picked himself up a 3-second penalty for corner cutting. We have mentioned that it can be a bit difficult around this track. There's especially when you're on a full load of fuel and you've got the higher tyre pressures, it's nowhere near qualifying pace. And Gainful has decided to go to a fresh set of mediums, so he's pretty much committed himself to the 2-stop there, has Gainful. He's trying something different to just try get a bit of something back, and Riker has now dropped well off. It was up to sort of 1.1 at one point, and now he's down to 2 seconds behind Anderson, doing well to keep up with him though on those hard tyres. Also, will be looking at Marshall and thinking, I need to get past you. I'm burning up these mediums too much. And we see Luckman here just getting out of that dirty edge, trying to keep the tyres cool. Ooh, and we see Lucas and Clay side by side there. Lucas going for the switchback, doesn't quite get it. And again, lighting up those rear tyres. Like he's got a lead foot at this point. He's going to be burning them up big time. Luckman looks closer than he was. Just backing off a little bit. He's in a prime position here. You can probably see the back of Lucas's car being a little bit loose as Marshall now gets himself up to 4th position. What has gone on here? Riker's had some sort of issue. Riker down to 13th position. He's down to 15th. He's had a big off as Riker. It looks like he's potentially gone round. And that's seen it all change up as Osso now into the top 5. looks like Anderson was caught up in that as well. He was doing well to keep up with Riker, and he's now down in 7th. So Curley's had what looks to be an issue, also down to 14th. So some sort of issue around turn 1. We know that it can cause problems. People try go up the inside, some go around the outside, but then it all just converges into one pinch point. And as the steward said, you have to be significantly alongside at a minimum. So we'll have to see what happened there. And it looks like Lucas has now got ahead of Clay. He has. Clay looked like he got a very good exit there for out of that hairpin. You see the dirty air working away on Clay's car there. He struggled to keep with Lucas out of that last corner. He does have the DRS and his battery burning. Luckman is just waiting and waiting and waiting. He's biding his time, and then we'll pick his moment, I'm sure. Clay takes a little bit of the grass there. Lucas, again, you can see the back of that car just wiggling around. He's absolutely foot to the floor out of every corner. And I think his rear tyres will be feeling it very soon. I'm not sure what we're expecting of weather here so far. I can't see any clouds in the sky, so potentially a full dry race. Battles that we've got down the field. We've got Housie on the back of Osso. Osso will be desperately trying to get back into the DRS of Marshall. If he doesn't, Marshall will just be running his own race at the minute and could potentially look to try pull an undercut on the cars ahead. He's not having to battle too hard with where he is. 3 seconds back of Luckman, 1.1 ahead of Osso. Clay here seems to have dropped back a little bit of Lucas, and Luckman is not gaining anymore. And these top 3 just seem to have settled into their rhythm at the minute, giving each other about a half a second gap. As Clay again moving right up to that right hand side just to warn off anyone trying to think about it. Now Housie and also back in DRS of Marshall. Marshall maybe had an issue. Oh, and Housie there with a bit of a snap of oversteer. Managed to pick it up well though. The top 3 have definitely just disappeared, so I'd be shocked to see anything other than a Lucas Clay Luckman podium. Not in that particular order, but it is looking like that's the way it's going to go. And the only way it's going to be any different is if the likes of Marshall, Housie, Osso, Anderson, Wab, Dave and Nerf are all in this little DRS train. They need to work together and slingshot each other up to the back of Luckman, but none of these guys are teammates. And Clay actually losing time to Lucas down the back straight here despite having the DRS. You can see the speed difference. You look how much you gain with that DRS. Marshall really struggling in a straight line. Oh, and here we go. Housie's going to be the first one to blink on these medium tyres. Diving into the pits as Osso naturally has picked up his first 3-second penalty of the race. And now that'll leave Osso onto the back of Marshall. Yeah, I get that teabag, but engine failures don't really happen in these lobbies, so also looks like he feels a lot more comfortable on the brakes than Marshall does. Keeps coming right up to the back of him, but Marshall getting a better exit. also look to be sliding that rear around a little bit there. See this top-down view now. He'll want to dispatch Marshall and try pull a bit of a gap, because at the minute, with a 3-second penalty, he's going to drop him down towards full send Dave. So Howes has moved on to the hard tyres. Riker also did come off of those medium tyres actually. He was the first one to blink. Howes was lucky to not get a penalty, then cutting the pit lane on 24 was an instant penalty. Any changes down the grid? It's not looking like it, although Anderson is looking at Osso. I think it's better off it. Osso didn't get flustered there. Now this is where the hards are going to feel a lot faster than those medium tyres. As the mediums start losing that bit of grip, the hard runners will be pushing. Ooh, and we see Osso run very wide there, and Anderson tried to close right up, but you've got to be very careful around this long turn 1, 2 and 3. And again, Osso just losing the traction on the way out of the corners as Chip has now got past Kane. Lap 10 now of 28. Whoa, Osso's rear tyres have really gone. He's struggling to keep it on the track at this point. He must be looking at boxing soon. 10 laps on a set of mediums. Looking like a possible 2-stop for some of these drivers. Also, good evening, Cole. How are you doing, buddy? Glad to see that you've checked out of the F2 race for next week. One less person to worry about, although that of course will probably end up meaning that just wait a second here, Anderson has absolutely breezed by Osso there. And now he's going to be looking at chasing Marshall down. Paul did hard at medium, lap 12, plan 20 that came out. Ended up in a little area. Tyres didn't enjoy it, especially the rears. Yeah, Lucas has been lighting his tyres up big time. It's been crazy. Let's see if he does it again, see if we can hear it. Not so much that time, but a couple of laps ago he did absolutely light up the rear tyres. He must be tiptoeing around some of these corners now. Marshall has got that gap down to 1.6 to this front three, but as Luckerman must have had a moment. He's now 3.6 seconds behind the top two. So Lucas and Clay now disappearing. And Clay looks like he's sticking with Lucas very, very well. Needs to be a little bit closer than this, because Lucas has defended very, very well down this back straight. Yeah, I feel like this track has to be a 2-stop. Lucas already trying to break that toe, but it's looking like he's safe there. Can't see Clay trying to throw one up the inside from this far back. No, I think it's better of it. Now Marshall very, very quickly gaining on Luckman. Luckman may be struggling or may have had an issue. We've seen Nerf now has made his way up to 5th position and now has dropped back down. Clearly just didn't get the exit out of the corner, but now he's back up. Let's have a look at this battle that's going on here. Oh, as we see, Anderson's now dived into the pits, but so is Lucas. Lucas and Clay both in the pits. Lucas has come out ahead. Clay looks like he got held up a little bit there. So we've now got gold on the back of Chip. The cars sort of spread out through this sort of pit window as we see the medium runners get rid of those tyres and go on to the hards. They did. Luckman has also pitted. and has ended up behind Riker. But in terms of where he is on track, yeah, it looks like he's going to be behind Clay. Now it's a case of whether Marshall can get his foot down so that when he comes out on those medium tyres he can try come out roundabout Luckerman. You would think not. Let's go back and see how these faster drivers on the fresh set of hards navigate through. I don't know, Cole, because you leave yourself set up then for needing to two-stop most likely. And look at the difference in the grip. There's Clay manages to go around the inside of the long right-hander, needing to chase down Lucas now. Something happened in the box that cost him big time. He's gone from being right up the back of Lucas to now being 2 seconds behind. This is Lucas's race to lose now. Seeing more people in the pits, the hard runners. Nerf is not fancying them hards any longer. He's dived into the pits. So Marshall with a 10-second gap on gold. Maybe, Cole, it depends how good of a driver you are. Like, I see some of these drivers making the tyres last and I just don't know how they do it. But Clay is now catching up to the back of Lucas. It was 2 seconds, it's now 1.5. Lucas stuck behind the likes of Pint Size, especially through this slower part of the track, giving Clay the chance to catch up. And that is a very good place to dispatch a Pint Size and put a car between him and Clay now. However, Clay will have DRS on Pint Size. How close are they all together? As Clay gets past Pint Size, he's going to have the DRS. He's going to be able to get to Lucas now. Lucas will not have DRS. So Clay will be right up to the back of him again, you would think, but very, very well managed down that back straight by Lucas. Gold has dived into the pits. 14 laps on the set of mediums. I would have probably gone for another couple of laps on those hard tyres. Also picks himself up another 3-second penalty. So we see Lucas has got past a couple of cars there. And Clay will want to do the same, will want to do it quick. Needs to dispatch of Kane and Hindsight. Because otherwise Lucas will get past Chip. Kane does well to get out of the way. I think he realised that Clay was coming at him rapidly there on the fresh tyres. You can see the difference as they come round that long left-hander. And then through the right-hander, Clay just has so much more grip. Oh, a little bit of a love tap there. This will be frustrating, Clay, but Lucas is caught up behind Chip. He's already past him now, though. Will Clay have picked up the DRS there? I think he did. He did, and Chip trying to fight back against Lucas, trying to get back into the slipstream. Didn't manage it. Clay needs to play this very, very well. There we go, that'll be good for Clay, can finally be released to go chase down Lucas. 1.8 is the gap. Marshall is definitely going longer, 14 laps on those hard tyres. I would assume he would be boxing at the end of this lap, you would think. We now see the field start to take shape. As Webb has run wide there, it looks like it's cost him a couple of places. Full Send Dave on the fresher medium tyres with Anderson and Osso keeping them behind well so far. We've got any major battles down the field? We don't at the minute. Gainful's coming to the pits again, so he has gone for the 2-stop. He's going to put on the hards and go to the end. See what he can do in terms of a recovery drive. Pint size all over the back of Hindsight. Both on 14 lap old hard tyres. I've had these on since the start. And you look at the difference there. Pint size has to back out. And he's going to breeze by Hindsight. He's going to open that DRS and it will not even be close. And whoa, Housie now getting into this battle, and Housie trying to go round the outside of Pint size, and that is a fantastic move. Opportunistic with that by Housie. Puts himself up to 4th position, which at the minute is net 3rd if he can make these tyres last till the end. I very much doubt it. Can't see him doing 19 laps on these hards. Possible if he looks after them well, but he's going to have Luckman absolutely bearing down on him here. Should be able to keep him behind well for a while, but as the laps go on, he's definitely going to struggle. Gainful now 54 seconds back. He's had a nightmare. He qualified well and then some sort of incident on turn 1 saw him drop to the back, and then he had to commit to the 2-stop. I think this is going to be a relatively easy overtake for Luckman. Yeah, it does look that way. I think we'll see him in very, very shortly. It's all about picking the time. You need to get the timing right, and we're going to see Luckman here should just get past Housie very easily. Gainful picks himself up a penalty there as well. The day's just going from bad to worse for him. And Luca, there he goes. Marshall has pitted. Where is he going to come out? He's done well to get this 1 stop to work. Play 1.6 behind Lucas. See Marshall tumbling down there. It looks like he should come out in 10th. He should beat Riker into turn 1 here, or gold even. Riker pitted, and he has. So Marshall will need to get a move on now to catch up to the likes of Nerfpack and Dave, as Dave looks like he's all over the back of Wab. Got a nice little train going on here of Anderson, Osso, Wab and Full Send Dave. Wab there looked like he was trying to make. That's a big loss by staying out, but some might still stop. Again, exactly. All depends on how well these guys manage the tyres now. You would think those top 3 are fine. Housie may struggle a little. Anderson will be struggling towards the end of the stint. He's going to have 16 lap old medium tyres, so Anderson is the one I'm looking at thinking he's probably going to need to pit again, as Wab and Osso swap places. Moved them well before the braking point, and Osso just closes up. I hate that feeling when you're the car behind. It just feels like you're going to run into the back of them. As Anderson picks up a 3-second penalty, so not only is he going to struggle with those tyres, he's also then got an extra 3 seconds onto his time. And Housie still keeping up with Luckman. And this is what he needs. He just needs this DRS to keep pulling him further and further away, as Wab now gets ahead of Anderson. Good drive from Wab so far. Marshall is gaining on Nerf. It looks like by about, since again, 2/10 around the first couple of corners. Yeah, you would think so, Cole, but when you've got that 3-second penalty, they just gamble. Because otherwise he's going to come out dead last. Well, he'll come out behind Sprint, it's looking like. Yeah, possibly. Full send Dave, I would say definitely. Nerf, if you can manage them well, may get away with it, but it will be very, very tight. I think towards the back end of this last stint, we're going to see a lot of position changes in the points. Clay not managing to catch up to Lucas up top. Lucas sort of running a race on his own as Housie has now come in on 9-lap-old mediums. 9-lap-old halves. Is he going to the mediums? Looks like he is. We're seeing Osso and Full Send also going then. They've gone for the 2-stop. Let's see how it works for them. You see how far they're just tumbling down. The guys behind, the guys ahead, not many of them are going to need to be pitting. Be screening at like 15-17 laps if they don't get a punch out. Exactly. This track is very, very hard on those left-hand side tyres, especially that front left, as you're dragging it all the way around turn 1 and then that complex section onto the back straight. Oh, and Anderson has gone round ahead. He's completely spun. And he's going to lose a lot of time there. Didn't lose as many places. Lost 1, maybe 2. Marshall now is looking like he's in a good spot. He's back up to 6th. And at the minute, everyone's spread out. Not many people in DRS of each other. And Marshall really is nursing them tyres already. You can see him not putting too much on them through that long right-hander. Pretty sure Anton also did that same mistake in qualifying, just got on the exit curb after the double apex and went round as Wab has picked himself up a penalty. Nerf will be looking at that and now wanting to push, but he also has to look after those medium tyres. So Wab may get away with that here and still come out with 4th position. Clay's managed to pull half a second back on Lucas as Pint Size has got himself another penalty. Osso's now pitted. It wasn't Osso, it was Anderson. He's decided to pit after his excursion off the track. See where all the moves have been coming, so you can see Wab now up 12 places into 4th, and it's looking like he could potentially stay there. Nerf up 13 places, who will be struggling towards the back end of the race. There's been a lot of moves made in this race, no one in the same position that they started in. You can see the difference there, the 2 stoppers towards the back, the 1 stoppers at the front naturally, but some of them will want to stop again, others won't. Penalties so far also with 6 seconds, along with Pint Size, and then 3 for Wab, Chip, Anderson and Gainful. Very, very true, Cole. They are driving solid races at the minute, as Curly has just made up another place, another 2 places, as we see Nerf dive into the pits and just gets past Gold anyway. We did say Nerf looked like he might struggle, and you look where he's going to come out after the pits here. I think gambling on the two-stop is probably the wrong decision because some of these guys are comfortable at managing the tyres. So unless you have an absolute storming couple of laps, you may struggle. Clay back into 2 seconds behind now, behind Lucas. Wab looked like he was gaining on Luckman. He's not too far off, he will need that. Because Marshall on those medium tyres will be catching up to Wab soon enough. Two-stop isn't the issue, it's picking when to stop. Yeah, but again, I feel like you look at people like Lucas, Clay, Luckman, Wab's done very well managing his tyres. When people are managing the tyres that well, it's very hard to make the two-stop worth it. But Wab here is not just going to settle for 4th position, he wants 3rd, and then he'll want to disappear up the track. I spent lap 1 went last, finished P8 after 2 stops, P11 after Penn's. Skill issue. Wab here is driving very, very well. He's caught right up to the back of Luckman. Not sure if Luckman's maybe got a bit of damage somewhere. He did have a moment at one point when he was in 3rd. But at this rate, with how fast Wab is driving, can he pull a 3-second gap? As Anderson sets the fastest lap of the race of 36.5 on what is a fresh set of mediums. Wab doing well here just to bide his time. He don't want to be too close and cut the tyres, but he's sitting in a gap where he knows DRS is going to be very powerful for him, and he's got a lot of battery. Yeah, Luckman struggling for battery on there. He's going to be on about 30% as he comes out of this complex. Whereas Wab will want to get on the battery early, and he has. You can see he's already gaining. And he's gaining quick as he's going to open this DRS. You can see Wab getting past here. He's going to move to the right. Luckman knows not to fight it too much. That move was pretty much done at the start of the straight. And now Wab needs to just get a move on, disappear up the road and try get 3 seconds on Luckman if he wants to keep hold of this podium position. And he's already looking like he's trying to do that as he's pulled out 6/10 already. So with 5 racing laps left, are we going to see any drama towards the end? Murph now with the fastest lap with a 36.2 on those fresher set of medium tyres. You'll see we've got a DRS strain of the mediums from 12th downwards. Well, 11th downwards, and Riker will be looking at that, panicking a bit while he's on the slower hard tyres, but hindsight and pint-size already 7 laps on those mediums. That 2-stop potentially not working as well as they would have liked. And Wab has broken the DRS on Luckman. Can he do enough to pull away now and get that 3-second gap? The battle in the mid-pack from 8th to 11th is the Astons and the McLarens. So far the Astons coming out on top of that battle. This is very, very well driven by Wab, and if he keeps going at this rate he will get that 3-second gap. Needs to not do anything too silly. Downshifting very well there to help with the slowing down of the car. Picks up the throttle well. He's already 2 seconds ahead of Luckman. That is fantastic driving. And at the minute we've got Chip closing in on Curly. The Williams having a fantastic race so far, 5th and 6th for them on the track at the minute, but Curly getting towards the back end of the life of those hard tyres. Chip will not want to be stuck here too long and burn out those mediums, or they will start having a look behind at Houser. We've got fresh hards. Those medium runners towards the back now starting to look that little bit quicker. Also catching up to the back of Riker. Nerf there as well. They'll need to start making a move soon if they want to move up the places. Wab 1.7 ahead of Luckman now. Wab will be saying, I just need another couple of laps, I need to get this gap. As we see there, Chip losing the position to Housie, who just breezed by him. Now Housie on the fresh hards will want to chase after Curly. The difference 6 laps can make in tyre wear and your confidence being able to throw it into corners is massive. Nerf now up to 10th, is making that 2-stop work. Can he get up to the back of Riker? Needs to get in the DRS ASAP, and it has done already. Wab 2.5 now. 2.3. He's getting towards that 3-second gap. If he does it, it's a fantastic drive, considering where he started as well. I think he started quite far down. He did. Started down in 16th position. 16th to 3rd would be a mega drive. Ooh, and Chip nearly losing it. That's very, very well caught. And now you just lose momentum there and you lose your concentration. And now Riker all over the back of Chip. Chip looks like he's probably going to lose DRS to Houser. He has lost DRS to Houser, and now Riker will be eyeing this up, so will Nerf. But yeah, it is a horrible curve. I was saying, Cole, at the start, this is, for me, the worst track in the game. Comfortably, and Houser now getting past Curly. Marshall has done well to get up in 5th, and it looks like he's just sort of running his own race at the minute. No pressure from behind, no pressure up front. Wab's still trying to pull that gap of 3 seconds out. Batman in practice stayed away during the race. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of this track at all. And now Nerf is eyeing up Riker. This will be a very, very good drive by Nerf. He can pick up maybe another couple of positions, which he's got the tyres for it. But he needs to dispatch Riker quickly. Oh, I am not taking that absolute slander call. Someone else said this at the start, I think it was Claire. Mexico is a phenomenal track. No, I only say that because I did well on it. Wab has now got that 3-second gap to Luckman. He's going to get a podium if he stays like this. It's about that 2.9 to 3-second gap. He just needs to keep it calm. Doesn't need to be picking up any more penalties. Riker out of DRS, whereas Nerfpack has got it. He's probably going to be dispatching Riker here. Riker burning the battery well to make it a bit more difficult. Merkel wanted that move done earlier, unfortunately couldn't get it done. We'll probably get it done here. He's going to try to swoop around the inside. Let's see this from above. Swoops around the outside. You see the difference between the mediums and the hards. Look at the confidence to just throw it round. Now, can he get after Curly? Ooh, it looked like he just started to lose it there. Riker looked like he was going to start battling back, and is. Riker now looking up the inside. Gets ahead of Nerf. Is Nerf going to look for the switch back? Nope, that's very well defended by Riker. This is a battle that Nerf was not needed, and Chip? Chip has DNF'd. What on earth happened to Chip? I'm not sure what we missed there, but Chip has DNF'd. Now, where is the car going to pull over? 0 laps on side, possibly pit and quit. It was a pit and quit. That car seems to be parked ominously on turn 1. And there we go, it's disappeared. Nerf now still trying to get past Curly, but Riker has now dispatched Curly also. The Williams still having a good race. Curly will... Ooh! As Nerf has pitted. Oh, is that because Nerf was reserving? And as we are on the last lap now, we will go on board with Lucas. Already coming to the end of Sector 2. He's got a 3-second gap of Clay. Just needs to keep it tidy, and he knows he does. Doesn't need to push too hard. Hindsight has decided to go for what looks like the fastest lap. Oh, in fact, the car is on the last lap. So we see Lucas coming down the back straight for the last time. He's going to take this win. Starting laps were a bit of a battle for him, but then as they came out of the pits for their one and only stop, Lucas seemed to just have the edge over Clay, and as he comes across the line, round 8 China goes to Lucas for P1. Clay will come across the line for second, and Wab has done very, very well from 16th on the grid with a 3-second penalty. Has come across the line to get the podium position. What a drive by Wab. Luckman, after getting up to third, will take fourth. Marshall, with a fantastic drive, gets to fifth, making use of those very worn out tyres. You can see the graining on those tyres. Housie across the line for 6th, Riker for 7th, Curly 8th. Very good race for the Williams drivers. Full send Dave comes in 10th. Chip got a puncture. Oh, Chip. Poor Chip on the last couple of laps of the race gets a puncture. But what a race! The strategy really mixed things up there. See if we can quickly get the position changes. Wab the outs, just the one standing out of everyone there. 16th to 3rd on the grid. We see these guys now. Lucas taking the top step of the podium, Clay alongside him in second, and Wab, after that phenomenal drive, gets himself 3rd place despite having a penalty as well. Did well to pull that gap over Luckman. See the crowd go wild. So despite it being the worst track on the calendar, it provided quite an entertaining race. We are going to get these guys in for the podiums. The race winner, Lucas. Driver of the day is definitely Wab for me. Fastest lap goes to Pint Size. Wab also with the most overtakes, naturally. So you see there, Lucas, Clay, Wab make your top 3. Luckman, Marshall, Housie, Riker, Curly, Dave and Kane make up your top 10. With Gold, Osso, Hindsight, Anderson, Sprint, Gainful, Pint Size, and then the 2 DNFs of Nerf Pack and Chip, who unfortunately got himself a puncture. So very, very entertaining race. To say that it is definitely, I don't care what anyone says, it is the worst track in the game as we get these guys in now. Just wait for these guys to come into the party for the podium chats. Already, of course, looking forward to next week as we race at Zandvoort. See if these guys are joining. Let's put a message in the Discord. Welcome, Clay.
Evening, bud. You alright?
I'm not bad, buddy. Yourself?
I'm pissed off.
Well, we'll get into it because you are the only one to join so far. It looked like you were staying very much with Lucas. Good battles. What happened in the pits?
I got held. I got held for Luckman coming in. So I lost over 3 seconds at pit stop from it dropped me. The green light came on. I released the clutch, and then a red light came on, and it held me as Lucas and Luckman drive past, and then released me after that.
It is an absolute nightmare with the pits on this, considering that we've got ghosting on as well. To be held like that,
Yeah,
does feel very, very harsh. You know, you went from being half a second behind Lucas to as you came out of the pits.
I think it were about 3.3, 3.4, something like that.
It was a very well driven race by yourself. I mean, some very, very good battles with Lucas. At any point were you looking behind at Luckman, thinking he's just going to bide his time here and try pick his move, or were you solely focused up front?
I'll be honest. I felt comfortable. So when Lucas went to make a move, I think I got him into turn 1 on lap 1, and then at the end of the straight, Luckman made a comment that we'd almost brought DRS on the hard runners. So I thought, right, I'll start pushing a bit so we break DRS. And then Lucas went for a move into the hairpin, and I weren't expecting it. So I had to burn a bit more just to stay ahead of him. And then after that, I wasn't bothered if he overtook me. So he got me on that back straight again. And then for some reason, I didn't mean to, but I ended up getting him back into turn 1.
That was a very good move. I saw that move.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I wasn't going for it. My plan was let him go ahead and then just recover ERS, and then I ended up with DRS, and I ended up making the move. And then it was just a case of managing it. Like I stopped burning until we'd get to the back straight, and then I'd burn for like half the back straight, and then just chill again. And then when he got me, I felt like my tyres were in a better place than his. He seemed to be struggling a lot more with his than I was.
I can tell you right now, yours were 100% in better condition. Lucas was absolutely lighting up those rear tyres. I'm surprised he didn't get a puncture, because there were a few times...
Mine were at 70% at the end.
Wow.
Yeah, rear left was at 70%.
Yeah, coming out of, so after you've come around turn 1 and 2 and 3, whatever it's classed as, and then you come out of that left-hander,
Yeah.
it would just like you were dropping a brick on the
Well, that's
accelerator.
I was seeing him on the medium struggling there, so that's when I knew his tyres had started going, but mine still felt good. So I would just at the end, like I've got to be honest, he controlled that fucking brilliantly. Kept me at arm's length, and I couldn't get any closer. So
I noticed
yeah,
even when you guys were in DRS of each other towards the end of the first stint, he just managed that gap well. You'd be about 6-7 tenths behind with DRS, and then you'd get to the end of the straight, and he'd still be 5-6 tenths ahead. He
he
managed that
did.
very well.
He did, but I wasn't going for it. I wasn't burning, and I was closing DRS early.
Is that
Like I
something you
was.
regret now? Like if you could have got into the pits before him, maybe that wouldn't have been an issue.
No, I don't have regrets, mate. What happened happened, and I ended there. Like I said, I came out 3 seconds behind him,
Yep.
got it down to about a second, and then he pulled away and kept me at arm's length. So you know what I mean. He deserves that win. Great drive from him.
Yeah, very, very good racing.
I'm also disappointed about the pole though. I think that's bothered me more.
Yeah, it seemed like, well, you were fastest throughout it all up until the last lap.
I was quarter of a second under coming onto the back straight, and then I was pushing. I've took the exit curb, and it's like I hit an invisible wall. It just threw me 90 degrees to the left.
We did see a lot of people losing it on exit curbs. I think
I'll send a clip
Anderson.
in. It wasn't a case of losing it. I was straight, and then it just threw me. It was like there were an invisible wall or something. That it just kicked out of nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what I mean. It is what it is. Last week was my first ever pole, and then challenging for it again here at a track that's never been
Terrible.
one of my strong. Yeah,
It's terrible. It is the worst track on the game.
see, I love turn 1, 2, 3. Me, I don't know what it is. I just love that section of corners because everyone rushes trying to get on the throttle, and if you just hold it and wait, it's so much faster.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't driven it in F1 to know. I wasn't there for Tier 2. F2 cars, as you were downshifting through the right-hander, the car just wanted to just spin.
Yeah,
But
well, the line I was taking down the straight came from the bloody F2. And I didn't really have a need to do it in the F1, but I got stuck in my ways and just kept sticking to it right.
yeah.
It's that little dip near the start-finish line. There's a dip. And in
Yeah,
the
there
F2, it's
is.
just as you change up to gear 6 and it slows you right down. But if you stick to the right-hand side of the track, the dip don't get you.
Well, less said about this week's F2 race, the better, of course, for myself. But
Come
yeah,
on, Luke.
no. Luke is not taking that full-time seat. I'm not being cheated out of the championship like that. But yeah, very well driven, buddy. Second place is nothing to be feeling down about. Very good race from yourself.
Cheers, bud.
And that is where we're going to be leaving it. And as we move on to round 9 this week, getting towards the back end of the season now, next race at Zandvoort. Very much looking forward to that and look forward to seeing you all there. Fantastic race from everyone in Tier 3 as usual. Don't think I actually saw any incidents that race, but be interested to see what is reported, if anything. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and as normal, I will see you again next week for the Tier 3 Championship. Have a good night.